smoking.
Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valen. Happy birthday to you. Well,
it's your birthday today. John! It's your birthday today. John! Rock and roll and celebrate. Celebrate, we will. Lose control and you cut the cake. Cut that the cake. Night is yours. Destiny awaits. Oh, wait with me. Share toast with your closest mates. It's your birthday today. John! It's your birthday today. John! Grab your goodie bags. Open your gifts. Blow out your candles.
All right, the mic's up. Mic up.
Mics are up.
Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Smoking Salads. So I am John Hill. To my left is the Shim, Nick, and to my right is Dean.
The shim.
The Shim.
All right.
So
We forgot
we're gonna
about
keep.
the Shim.
Yeah, I didn't forget about the Shim.
Yeah, you
so
did
your
not
nickname
forget
is
about
the Shim.
That was Saturday night when we came up with that, wasn't
Yes,
it?
we did. So it's been a few days celebrating my birthday. So it's been ongoing, and we might as well continue it today.
I was gonna say you're 105, right?
So yeah, sure. How many times I've celebrated my birthday over the last few days? It
Yeah,
feels
you
like I'm
did.
105. So on tonight's episode, we are going to be doing the Punch, the latest release of their celebration of the Chinese New Year, and it is called the Spring Roll. So we just procured these bad boys today, and we're going to be drinking that, another Asian culture with some Japanese whiskey, Yamato 3 Kitties. So with the 3 Kitties, there's 3 kitties here, and they each were finished in different casks. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that as we get to that. So as always, we are doing and recording all of our sessions of smoking through cigarshare.com. So get yourself logged in to cigarshare.com.
That's what it looks like.
And
It's so pretty.
Follow us along. It records us in our tastings throughout the whole time of the cigar. At which time do we taste cinnamon? At which time do we taste chocolate? Which time did those flavors disappear? It's a great application. If you haven't gotten turned on by that yet, go to cigarshare.com. It's a quick little load. It just loads a shortcut to your phone. It's not an app, so you're not worrying about learning a nice new application and having iPhone or Google or something like that wipe it off the face of the earth. So it will always be there. So with that, I'm going to talk about
Guess what I didn't do yesterday, John?
fish.
No, I did fish.
No, he didn't catch a
I
damn
didn't
thing.
catch a fish.
Yeah,
catch
well,
a
what
damn
a
thing.
shock.
I was the only person on the boat without
What
a
a
fish.
shock. So the first thing about the construction of the cigar, I've got about this much smoked out. That is an unshielded or
Naked foot.
naked foot. There you go.
Naked foot.
So it's to, and all of the series have that. And the story behind all of them being a naked foot is that it's supposed to simulate the cabbage in the spring roll or egg roll or Fu Manchu or whatever, right?
Whatever.
So these are all named after American Chinese cuisines. Okay, so that's the other special thing about the Punch contribution to the whole Chinese New Year. The Year of the Rabbit is what the spring roll is here. So at first, I'm getting loads of cinnamon just off of that fettered foot. I don't know what you guys are getting, but nose was definitely sweet, that earthy sweetness. I attributed a little bit to that, some chocolate on the nose, but definitely earth. So, Dean, what did you get so far?
Pretty much got what you got. I got a barn funk off the smell, or like an earthiness to it. The foot of the cigar had a grassiness smell, but then when I cut the cap and I breathed through the cap, it got more of that deeper, little bit of a spice sensation on it. And then through the retro hells, I got like what you said, but I get like a sweet cinnamon. It's
On the
sort of like
retro or on the mouth?
On the retro and on the mouth.
Yeah, I
I
get
feel
it in
the
both.
cinnamon, but it's the combination of the sweetness and the cinnamon together, and it reminds me because I got this tea called Sweet Cinnamon, and it tastes very almost identical to that.
Really?
The tea's a little bit more intense on the sweetness and everything, but this has a really nice, pleasing sweet cinnamon with a nice little spice through the retro hell and everything. The first part, when I first retro held, I did get the grassiness from the naked foot, but then as it worked its way into the wrapper, that's when you started to get more of the spice and the cinnamon nuance coming through.
All right. Shim?
Where did this thing take? We'll talk about that later. No, I got on the pre-light. I got earth. I got manure. I got on the foot of it. I actually got a little bit of a sweetness, like a chocolate. And then while smoking it, I actually on the retro hell, I was getting the cinnamon. That may be because you had mentioned something about it, and but I do get it. However, I'm also getting like a baking spice.
Okay, I can see the baking spice. Now I'm starting to get like a little touch of a orange with mixed in with that cinnamon and the sweetness.
Yeah, I've gotten into the wrapper now, so the cinnamon isn't as prominent, but definitely picking up more baking spice, kind of a note. And the cinnamon is it's still there, but it's taken a back seat to the baking spice.
Right.
So, but yeah,
It's got a little
definitely
heat to it.
A little bit.
There's
Yeah,
some
I don't
heat
know
to
if
it on
that's
that
like
last little retro house.
yeah,
Like,
a little bit, maybe pinch of cayenne pepper or something.
yeah, there is like a
I'm
little
gonna-
on my palate. I get a little bit
Hey,
of that
John,
now.
I'm going to add that flavor note to my cigar share.
Yes, you should. So, this is a Petite Robusto. It's only 4.5 inches in length by 50. So this will be a fairly quick smoke. Our show usually goes to just about an hour. So that's just about enough time to smoke all of this. So we're going to give you
Yeah.
the first third, the middle third,
Yep.
middle third, second third, and the final. So
Man,
we'll
I tell
do
you
that.
what, I'm loving that cinnamon. Is just sitting right on my palate. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It is
It's not
nice.
sharp. It's slightly sweet. And
It's
not
a very pleasing cinnamon.
Yeah, so far it's a nice, flavorful stick that's easy to relax to for sure. So with that, our glasses are all empty. So
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about the whiskey, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the Punch series and their
The
Chinese New Year
Tres
stuff.
Gatos.
So the Tres Gatos, but this is not Spanish. This is Japanese.
I know.
So we're mixing cultures here. So we're just going to say this is our Pacific Asia show. So because Japanese can be completely different than Chinese, and we don't want to make people mad to say I'm not Chinese, I'm Japanese, and so on and so forth. So these are 3 different caskings. So over here, it's Yamato. It's made just out of American oak casks, so it's a straight up bourbon. The one that I'm doing is finished in a sherry cask, and the one that Dean is doing, it's finished off in a Mizunara oak.
Oh yeah, the
So
Mizunara.
Mizunara has gotten a lot of news lately. It's expensive to use. It's most famous to be used in Yamazaki 18 year. We can really taste the difference. So it's interesting because this is a oak that's indigenous to Japan, and they never really
And it's
used it.
rare.
And it's rare.
Yeah.
But they use it for furniture. During World War II, there was a huge shortage of American oak and those kind of oak barrels they get to, and all the warriors on the line drank whiskey.
Yeah.
So they needed to have an oak. So they were trying to make it work with the Mizunara, but it's not easy. It's porous, it's wet, very difficult to work with, and the beginning whiskeys were just very, very, very oaky and wood front. So
Yeah.
they finally figured out that the tree has to be certain age. You got to let it age a certain amount to really experience it and let the flavors kind of tame down a bit. So over the last 5-10 years, it's gotten really kind of high end, mostly because it's got a lot of history to it. you can't even really make a barrel out of a tree unless the tree is like 200 years old. So I mean,
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So I don't even know if they make a whole barrel from it. They might just put staves in at this point, but they don't really say.
They
what's
do
the
make. They do
manufacturing.
make.
But
Yeah, because
so-
I think Whistle Pig or someone did one out of one of those casks.
Yeah.
And it was like $2,300 a bottle or something
Yeah.
like that. It was crazy.
Yep. So hopefully we'll be able to taste a little bit of the Mizunara oak in here. So to start with, we'll just pour out of our each kitty, and we'll talk about what the blend is with the cigar. So
Just to let everybody know, Lee Marshall, who's in our audience, is smoking a Man of War Damnation, made by someone I like a little bit, not that much, but his name's AJ Fernandez.
AJ Hoare. AJ Hoare.
No, don't even hide it, AJ Hoare. Don't even hide it. My kitty doesn't want to come off. Wait.
So we found these at Costco,
American.
and my wife was like, "Ooh, look at that, kitties!" And I said, "Ooh, look at that, whiskey." So they the Yamato. When you go to Costco, you go to a liquor store or something, all of their stuff has some kind of a unique bottling on it. One's dressed like a samurai warrior, another one's a dragon, so all kinds of, marketing things. So we'll see how much marketing hype there is on this, or whether it's actually a really good whiskey. I couldn't find any reviews on this online, and likewise, this is the 2023 year release of this cigar. Just came out in February. The cigar shops here in town just got it in, so I got my fingers on it. There's not a lot of reviews out there, so we're one of the first. Woohoo! So, okay. So let's go from Nick to Dean and then me. So we'll swirly the girly. And
Sir.
cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you, sir.
And the three amigos.
Three together. You probably just heard a big thump.
Yep, because my hand hit the mic.
All right.
That
So while you
smells
guys are-
like-
while you
that
guys are
smells like
nosing yours,
bourbon, I tell you, hood.
So there's not a lot about the Yamato whiskeys that are out online. They're all the same marketing literature on all of the reviews that I saw. The interesting thing was just looking up the history of the oak. That was a more interesting aspect of the one whiskey. So I don't even know what kind of sherry cask they used, what kind of wood they were in that, and whether they used American oak on this bourbon. They're calling it a bourbon, so yes, it's got to follow that
If
bourbon
it says
recipe.
bourbon, it's American.
Yeah. So they didn't really go into great details on it. So what did you get on the nose and palate?
So, on the nose, very much bourbon. I got a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, classic notes. The taste, however, is not what I was expecting. It's very sweet. There's a very, I know it's Chinese New Year, but there's a, there's a red blossom Japanese tree that has very sweet blossoms, and so I'm getting a very sweet floral note. That's actually probably the more prominent flavor in this entire thing. It's definitely got a little bit of a, you can kind of smell the proof. It's about, I would say this is probably about 85 proof. God, that smells good, and the flavor is amazing.
So what about you, Dean?
So I get, there's some different flavors going on. It's kind of hard to get some of these. The wood, this Mizunara does impart a lot of different flavors into spirits that are kind of hard maybe for us to pick out because we don't really get to drink much spirits like that. Mm-hmm. I'm getting more of an earthiness. There's a little bit of earthiness. It is sweet as well as what Nick was talking about, or Shem was talking about. And it's got a little bit of a citrus. It's really hard to pick out, though. It really is. This is not an easy one. If this was in a blind tasting, there's no way. There's no way in
It's
hell.
very, the thing that Dean, I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's very, very light. It tastes very young.
So the mouthfeel of the spirit, I got like this oily coatiness very soft and smooth.
This sounds like a
going.
good application for the flavor box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Want to grab the flavor box behind you? So, boys and girls in internet land, we keep talking about this about every other show. You know, sometimes the flavors are really hard to pick out, especially if you're not using them every day or come across them every day. So,
Does not want to let go. It's heavy.
yeah, it's got a lot of
heavy.
I've created partly. I have way more flavored vials than this, but I put them in a box. I'm creating a nice wheel, so we'll have earth flavors, sweet flavors, baking flavors, nuts, earth, all that kind of stuff. So, and I've got them all labeled. Here's a coffee.
Give me the orange one, because I think I just tasted orange and I
Here's
just want to double check.
here's an orange extract. So the idea is you go through some of these things, get the flavors that you think you're tasting, and it will help you better identify what it is. So
I'm definitely
here's-
getting a little bit
here's
of
a
orange
ginger.
now, but I do get what Nick was talking about with the floral
Yeah.
essence, and I think that might be imparted from the yeast that they use. I could be wrong.
Did you get this?
So the flavor that I'm getting, so I actually did a pairing now,
Look at this.
and I actually got
Can't make
by
my
doing
screws
the cigar first, then the whiskey. I got a subtle orange,
Okay.
maybe even like a nectarine, something not. It's not overly orangey, but there is an orange aspect. And the flower that I had originally, it's called sakura. It's a nice little pink Japanese blossom. But
Nice.
that was the floral note that I was trying to figure out. No, this is actually
Cinnamon.
solid pairing.
So mine is the sherry cask. I actually have a lot of floral notes on the nose, but you can also smell that creamy sherry, kind of a vanilla, kind of a caramely vanilla, kind of a sherry, but it's smoky. So I've definitely got some smoke in this. And the flavors, it's floral. You can taste the sherry cask. You can taste vanilla, a twinge of orange. So it's hard to pick out, but I put my nose up to the orange thing, and it's like, yes, that's an essence of what's in there.
It's like if you walked into a room and somebody days ago had used something that had an orange aspect to it. It's just a subtle hint.
But yeah, mine is probably above an 80 proof. It's definitely burning nicely on the way down. But great flavors, but just on the sweet side. So it sounds like this set is a little on the sweet, not overly sweet, but sweet enough. And this one actually get some smokiness, not necessarily peat, but definitely a little bit of smoke. So I'm really enjoying it. I paired it up with a cigar and didn't pull out any interesting things. Dean and I had a unicorn discovery a couple of days ago. We'll talk about that little unicorn that we discovered. But yeah, I'm going to explore a little bit more of this. Dean is exploring his nose. So talk a little bit more about the spring roll a little bit here.
Not in this one.
So they do one every year. They
Right.
started in 2019 with the egg roll. And they're all packaged. For those of you who haven't found yours at the local shop or bought a box, they all come in some kind of a Chinese takeout packaging.
Yep.
So this one actually came in, they give you the rice in that little tall box. So these are packaged, a box of 25, in that tall box. And they all come with chopsticks. So the first one they did 2019 was the egg roll. Then they did the chop suey for 2020, the kung pao for 2021. Last year's was Fu Manchu.
Which is one I got.
This year's
for
the
us.
spring roll. So this is an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, and it's got a broadleaf, American broadleaf binder on this, and your fillers are Mexican, Colombian, and Dominican. So it's an interesting blend of cigars, tobaccos in the cigar, and so far my first third, I'm loving it.
No, I love this cigar. I would also like to say that I don't think there are too many cigars that use a broadleaf as a binder.
No, I can't think of many.
That's
So it's got lots of good flavor, but it doesn't pack a lot of nicotine. I would say from a strength,
medium.
yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
a good medium.
solid medium for me. So I'm marking that medium. I do like the flavor profile. I don't know if it's exquisite for me, but it's definitely tasty on the app. So construction is outstanding. I'm not having any issues. The draw is perfect. The look and feel of it is nice. Got some small, smooth veins. It's nice and shiny. Got the right amount of oils, and humidification is right on this. And that burn is perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my burn's fine.
Construction is awesome.
So the I actually got another flavor note, and I'm glad you had the vial of it. I'm getting clove with the pairing. I'm getting a very small hint of clove, which goes with it because we had already discussed. There's a little bit of baking spices, but I'm actually getting a specific clove flavor.
Yeah, I get a touch of. I was just smelling the outside of the vial, but I could still smell it through it. And I'm glad I didn't open it up because the intensity of the smell would be too much.
Right.
But there's a touch of nutmeg in my spirit that I'm getting.
Okay.
But now that I'm drinking it more, so like a lot of times when you're trying to spirit, your first time you try it, especially if it's something new, your palate will change as you try to spirit over again and stuff like that. And it's had a little bit of time to open up a little bit, and so the flavor profiles have changed a little bit. I'm getting a cinnamon and a little bit of a touch of citrus with that hint of nutmeg, and there is a little bit of a woodiness. It's not a smoke woodiness, but it is a form of some type of a wood.
I think mine is young enough that I'm not going to get the woodiness. Because I'm not getting any smoke or any of that woodiness, but I'm still consistently getting like a floral note, and it's like an orange zest.
Yeah.
But this is very, very light.
I will say, see the cinnamon on mine's like, I will say I think you guys are going to love this with this cigar because the cigar has the cinnamon and orange citrus, and this also has cinnamon with a little bit of a citrus essence with it as well. And right now these two are pairing almost really well with each other.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is definitely a good blend. That smoke is a little sweeter now. It is more attributed to peat smoke. Noah, something for you. It's not letting me save my my flavor note. So I'm trying to add peat smoke as a unique flavor, and it's like could not save the data.
No, just to let y'all know, Noah's looking at us like he's a teenage boy that just saw a girl in a bra walk by her window. He's like, what?
For those wondering,
What was that I just saw?
We have a good friend, Noah.
Is there?
Our good friend Noah created the
could not
app
find
with
it.
a friend of
School
his.
him, Noah. School him.
And so we're trying to get out, and it works really, really well.
I'm loving
there
this
is
sweet
smoke.
cinnamon.
All right.
I want to just call it sweet cinnamon because that's what I called it on Noah's in that app was just sweet cinnamon.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so
not,
nice.
It's not that intense.
No,
cinnamon.
it's a nice. This is a very nice, pleasing. Like
It's
this.
not- would
This
you-
is a very good. Like if you want it, I would almost say.
Would
if
you say
want
like a brown sugar cinnamon, but not overly
No.
sweet?
No, it's more like it's almost like it's a honey cinnamon,
Oh, okay.
like a bit of a honey.
Okay, okay.
essence.
Bit of honey.
Huh?
Retro Hill's way more intense cinnamon.
Yeah, there is, but that cinnamon is staying on my palate as well. It's very nice.
I'll finish mine. You finish yours, and we'll pour it in there.
Are we
So,
gonna switch?
The producer
little
said
kitties?
off camera. The producer said that the retro hail definitely is more noticeable on the cinnamon.
Yep.
Definitely more intensity on the cinnamon
Yep.
to a retro hail. It's on the palate, but you really get it pulled out on
You know
the.
what? I take
the
that
retro
back.
hail.
I just took a big swig. There's wood.
Okay.
There's wood in this.
Well, you should get wood. It's a bourbon barrel, but
But I wasn't getting it with the amount with how big of a sip I was getting.
You didn't put your wood in it. You just get wood in it.
Sure.
Shim is
Well,
slightly.
we'll let the birthday boy have his
Shim
way.
is being confused right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fuck? Son of
That's for you, Dane.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
Kenny Branch is on. Hey, Kenny, what's going
Kenny.
on?
Kenny's still alive.
Kenny is still alive. We heard there was a great little herf over here last night.
Yeah. Well, no.
Into the
that's-
wee hours.
not
Saturday.
last night. Saturday.
Was it last night? Oh, Saturday. Yeah, Kenny was over here Saturday.
Kenny was here burning the midnight oil with me, and yeah, we definitely had a great time. Glad to see you online, Kenny. We will have Kenny on the show. We're thinking maybe in March or something. And Kenny is kind of like the head guy who formulated the whole Blaze One for the Nation. So he supports our show 100%.
Yeah.
And so he's really interested in trying to do a dual show where we can go live on Blaze One for the Nation and live on Smoking Salads. So we're going to organize that up so all the Blaze Ones fans can hang out with Kenny and the Smoking Salads guys. So looking forward to that.
This is the sherry cask. Yours is the
Mine
sherry
is the
cask.
sherry cask.
Yeah. Red is sherry, black is bourbon, and brown is Mizunara.
All right.
If I said that right, Mizunara?
I know I have to keep.
Mizunara. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it right. Good. Look at you,
Mizunara.
Dean. The brain is working for Dean tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
My brain's a little slow. This has
I
been
would
going on
almost
for
want-
3 days of nonstop drinking and smoking.
I would almost want to say
Actually,
that
4.
this cigar would be a nice dessert cigar with like a slightly orange citrus flavored cheesecake.
That's very specific.
Yes, because I want to try to combine the two. Maybe you dust it a little bit with some cinnamon on the cheesecake.
All right,
No,
I'm not
it's
just
beautiful,
getting
man.
my
I
blood
love
sugar's going up
cheesecake, dude.
just hearing
I love
Dean speak
cheesecake,
about
just-
cheesecake.
I don't know. A soft dessert. It needs to be a soft dessert though. I think
So,
this cigar would go
John,
well with that.
I agree. I'm actually getting a good
I got some
amount.
snickerdoodle cookies out in the car I could go get.
Oh God!
I'm definitely
so this
getting a
is
good
the-
amount of smoke on this.
What is this one? Got to put my old man.
Calm
glasses
down
on.
noises.
So all right, so this is the Mizunara.
Yeah, you're doing the Mizunara.
It's nada.
I'm not
Well,
getting
John-
anything from this.
Well, John, see, like I said, like Dean, for me, I get a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, maybe a little bit of orange, but then when you taste it, it's different. It's also
Okay,
very,
wait.
like I said, it's very young.
Yeah, I'm getting the sherry now. I'm breathing at the top of
You're
the
not
glass.
doing the
and I'm-
sherry.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, that's the bourbon, isn't it?
So the Mizunara.
But I am getting like a cherry essence, like a cherry fruit.
I don't know if I got the cherry.
If I didn't know that this was,
Oh, there's the vanilla and the
Mizunara
bourbon
oak,
coming down through.
I would say if I didn't know that this was a Mizunara oak, I would say almost it's rye-like in the nose.
Really?
It's got a little spice in there that's not normally on an oak barrel. I can smell that, and maybe I can smell it more because the other one was smoky and sweet, where this one is more spice.
Interesting. I'm actually getting yes, I'm smoking a cigar with it, but I actually find when I do the cigar than the whiskey with the sherry cask, I get more of that peat flavor. I don't know if that was what you were referencing to, or if that was just on the taste by itself.
No, the cigar definitely pulls out more of the peat, but it was there. It's a smokiness, but then when you have a cigar, then it's like a sweeter peat.
I will notice also already with the two that I've had, I get more flavor notes doing cigar than whiskey than I do when I do whiskey than cigar.
Okay, that's good to know. So, and we've talked about that many times on the show, right? If you're really trying to experiment and play around with your palate, discover new things, try it both ways. Try your cigar first,
God.
then the whiskey, then let it sit, then do the whiskey, then the cigar, let it sit. You will get, in many cases, 2 different types of flavors on that finish. And that's what we're talking about when we say they're combined. It's that finish, right? It's not, hey, I taste it right away. It's the combining of these things gives you a whole new flavor.
Yeah.
Dean and I, we were drinking a whiskey,
Rassé from the
Isle
Isle of
of
Rassé.
Isle of
a
Rassé.
scotch, very apricot-y, butterscotchery, and butterscotchery.
Butterscotchery, folks. You heard that here.
I'm calling butterscotchery.
Butterscotchery.
It's closely associated to shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans.
So we were smoking an Opus X with it, and the unicorn on this thing was
Not just any Opus X.
no, it was the original Opus Opus,
Oh, the Opus Opus.
They're the original.
Okay.
and
Thank you very much for that.
Salt.
Salt.
Yeah, it was like it made
Don't
your
ask
mouth
us
feel
how-
like you were sucking on a salt block. It was not bad,
No.
but different. So it's like you wouldn't get salt out of either one of them, but together it was like salty. So I mean, salty. it was crazy.
Yeah.
So you smoke one and you try it with something else, and nope, don't get that at all. So it was an interesting little unicorn. So I had to write that down. It's like
Miss Woods is watching.
Oh, hi, babe.
Okay, on mine, I got the bourbon barrel out of this, and I did get there towards the end after.
You also drink a shit ton more than I do.
But no, it's okay. It's what I got. I did get the
That
bourbon barrel from this one,
U.S. metric ton.
and then I did
or-
get a touch of the just a very light accent flavor of the cherry. But then when I did the cigar, all of that disappeared, and I got like a vanilla cream soda.
Did you get any clove at all?
I'm getting cinnamon. I mean, clove and cinnamon, like especially if they're kind of mixed into each other.
Okay.
They kind of blend well with each other. They kind of play really good play partners.
Mm-hmm.
But I got that. I'm like vanilla, and then I got like this cream. The only thing I could associate was like cream soda or some type of a vanilla, not quite like an ice cream, but like if you had just a little bit of ice cream or the latent flavor of ice cream after you've swallowed it for a little bit that's sitting in your mouth, you know, a little bit that's left over on your palate. But I want to say it's a. Let's say that you opened up a cream soda, right, and you drink almost all of it, but there's a little bit left over, and the CO2 left in the night, right? So you don't get the carbonation, but you get the flavor of that cream soda flavor.
It's the only way I
in your
drink my
mouth.
soda.
Yeah, and that's what I got. That's really unique, and that's why I was like, "Holy crap! What the hell?"
So I like this one. This is the Mizunara.
Here's an R.
Because it's not. I haven't had the bourbon yet, but I expect the bourbon to be a little sweet. Most bourbons are.
It's not just a little sweet. It's a
lot
prominent
sweet?
flavor. Not like super sweet, but it's one of the first
No,
flavors that you get.
the Mizunara is sweeter than the bourbon.
Yeah, I
The
disagree.
Mizunara, to me, was sweeter.
I mean,
But
I
this
get
was
an
also my first
appley-
drink. We've been drinking a
Yeah.
bit now, and that does influence your palate.
I
a bit.
get more of the wood spice in this. I get the sweetness is coming from a fruit. Could be pear, could be apple. Not that sweet, but some kind of a stone fruit of some kind in here. That's the sweetness. But I get more of the spiciness than I get of the fruitiness.
All right, I'm gonna have to
So,
try a
like
vanilla
this.
cream soda with some cinnamon in it, because that's what I'm getting right now.
You're just on a cinnamon kick, dude.
It's the cinnamon from
Cheesecake,
it's the cinnamon flavor.
oranges.
No, it's the cinnamon.
His inner fat child or outer is really coming out right now.
It's the cinnamon from the cigar that's being attributed to this particular version of the liquor. Now on that one, I was getting cinnamon from it, and so they were playing very well with each other.
Right.
But I love this cream soda kind of flavor I'm getting on it. It's freaking awesome.
So for those of you watching this show live, listen, you buy them in a 3-pack. It comes in this really decorative box. You want to play around with the flavors.
Yeah, but that can be a one-off.
You
through
said
Costco.
well Costco though, right?
Yeah, it can
Well,
be a
no,
one-off.
it's not. You can buy them. It's just Costco had them, so they probably still have them. Okay, if you want to experiment, the 3 of these combined make a 5th, right? So you can
my
pour
God,
yourself
that's so
3
good.
little shots and play around yourself with your cigar. It's an easy thing to do. It was like in Washington State, I think it was like $120 for the 3 of them. So little on the pricey side, but it's 3
But you get
distinctly
little
different.
kitties.
But you
get
get little
some
kitties afterwards, so that's why.
You get some little kitties.
Chris wanted the little decorations after we're done with it, so she's like, hurry up and do this, hurry up and do this. She's like forcing me to drink this, okay?
The artwork on these is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where is the
That
bourbon
one,
one?
huh?
This is the bourbon?
Yeah, that's the bourbon. Hand me the red. The red is the sherry. Scooch you on over.
So this is the Mizunara.
It looks
right?
like they have.
Yeah.
Well, one's got an orange fish on it. That one's got a little orange
There's
fish.
slight differences. This one has.
I got an orange
salmon
fish on
steak or
mine.
something.
That's like a fanny pack with something in it. I don't know.
They're all slightly different. They're all the same mold, but painted a little bit different.
Is that the bourbon?
Yes.
So you get drunk, so it has to come out of your head, where the other ones are more sophisticated. They have to come out of
right.
the spout.
And I think I made a huge mistake here. I think I was talking too much and actually poured this in my water rinse.
Oh,
There you go. Way to go. Just
Well, now
drink it real
now it's
fast.
just watered down. But you can still get some flavors out of it, right? Just more subtle.
Well,
More
I actually get more
subtle.
smoke. I'm getting way more smoke off of the Mizunara than I did the sherry cask by itself.
Okay. I got more smoke out of the sherry, but yeah, as
Everybody's
we're-
palate
these are
is different.
Well, and as you're tweaking them around like this, yeah, That's the hard thing, right? We're not really giving time between the tastings. We're going right one to the other. So
Right.
they could be
Speedboating
playing
it.
off of each other.
They could be.
All right, so I'm tasting more water here. So this is mostly water, folks. I'm not just guzzling whiskey.
I gotta get this time.
But
Nom nom noises.
it's a good flavored water.
Oh, it's a great flavored water. So I just did a pairing. I'm getting a mesquite, and I'm confused by it because I'm getting you gotta get something that's got like some like kind of like barbecue flavoring or something like that because. Right, I'm getting a flavor.
I got a spice, but I could see where you could get mesquite out of that. It's a different kind of sweet smoke.
Yes.
So it's not rye, it's not
And
mesquite.
no,
That's probably
I
contributed to the
do
wood.
agree with you though that on the nose though, if this was a blind taste, I could arguably say that this might have been a rye.
Right, because it's got that spice and smoke to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, even on the nose. I mean, I've already been tasting and pairing, but man, that spice comes right off the.
So the nose on the bourbon for me is sweet, like you said. The caramely brown sugar, maple syrup kind
It's
of.
very young though.
So,
It's
well, I haven't tasted it yet. I mean, outside of a big jug of water. So I'm getting down to about the middle of my second third of the cigar. The burn is still solid, still consistent. The flavors, we keep juggling them around, and I've got lots of flavors noted, but I'm still getting all those flavors. There hasn't been anything that's subsided. So sometimes you'll have, really complex cigars where they change a lot. Other cigars don't change a lot. So, but this program actually lets you, if you're a kind of guy who likes your flavors to change as you smoke, then you can identify those and put them in your favorites.
You're talking about Cigar Share. Mm-hmm. Well, and little bit of I mean, we've been plugging it all night, but like a more of a solid plug. The thing I love about the app is the fact that within if you had a flavor at the beginning, but then that flavor is gone, there is a running timestamp that you can delete that flavor.
Yeah.
And it'll tell it
If
in
it
the thing.
disappears
And if
in the
you're-
cigar.
And if you're nearby anybody else that's using the Cigar Share app, you can see what they're smoking, whether it be past or present.
Right. So-
And you can, if the flavors they get is something that meets your palate, it's a cigar that you probably
So
want to try
I'm
to get.
49 minutes in from when we first started the cigar, with the notes and everything else. So I had chocolate. I'm not really getting chocolate. I am, but it really has morphed more into a hint of more of the espresso coffee kind of thing. So I removed the chocolate, and I'm going to add my coffee espresso at this point. So the cigars are a little hotter. It's
Hold
still
on.
just a hint.
Wait. Between the three of us, you got the coffee espresso,
Yeah, I hit it first.
which is unfortunate because I actually also got it too. So
That's because I said it going, coffee espresso. Nick, the shim is always going to get the coffee and espresso.
okay.
Yeah, the shim always gets it.
You know what?
You heard it here, folks.
When we do like the after show, if we do an after show, I gotta figure out what the hell this came up with.
Never.
All right, fine, whatever. Go.
All of us
Hey,
know.
hey, Zuckerberg, I hope you don't get mad about this, but you two, go fuck yourselves.
Sure. So on mine, on the smell on the sherry, I did get the smell of the sherry.
Hey, Rod is on.
What? Nice. Rod.
What?
All
goes,
the way down in the great state of somewhere down there.
Rod says, sure miss y'all.
Y'all.
Rod, we miss you too, buddy.
Cheers to Rod.
Well, I have no more whiskey. I guess I'll pour more of this.
Cheers to you, Rod.
No, you don't get glass clink.
No glass clink.
No glass clinking.
All right, so people on the internet, tell us what you think. Is this an informational kind of show? Is this too much information with the whiskeys? Do you like us to slow it down a little bit more? Do you like this pace? Give us some feedback.
Well, I mean, tonight we're doing 3 different ones and everything,
tonight
but normally we do one.
We literally whipped the show together
Well, to
in
be
short
fair,
order.
2 straight shows we have done 3 tasters.
So that's why I'm asking.
yeah, because our first show was the whiskey blind
With the blind
whiskey
taste.
tasting.
Yeah.
Which I still think, I will actually say that the spring roll is also one of those not rare but very small group of cigars that can go with multiple things. The last month's show, we found out that the same cigar went really well with all 3 blind whiskeys that we did.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, we did.
Or at least as far as John and I go, the Four Roses was not that good.
Yeah,
no,
I
but as a
wasn't a big
whiskey,
fan,
but I'm talking about the pairing.
Listen, the pairing, it worked. That cigar worked well with all 3 whiskeys.
Yes.
Yes, that's the point I'm trying to make. And this cigar works really well with bourbon,
And you get 3
sherry, and the Mizunaki.
Yeah, and you get 3 different flavor profiles with each different one when
almost
you're
damn near
doing it with.
almost completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all completely different whiskeys.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I was interested in the audience. What do you guys think? Because we're talking a lot, but we're not really focused on. We're focused on the cigar for sure. That's the whole premise of the show.
Sonia's on too.
but-
Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Sonia. So
Well, because Sonia's the one that started it up with Rod, so
that's
you
right.
know,
Rod can't.
She's the one
Rod
that
can't
goes
get
to
on
the.
internet.
No, Rod's on, and
Yeah,
then Sonia's
Rod's
also
like
on.
Rod's like Sonia, come get me onto smoking salads, Raleigh.
So this weird channel called Floatin' and Smokin'
Floating and smoking.
Float- and smoking.
said, I hear the new producer is the sexiest producer you have ever had. Well, out of the,
One.
I'm gonna just say this. That's a false statement.
Out of the one we've had before.
Technically, we've had 3.
First of all, his hair is not nearly as long as mine.
Oh.
And
And
he
he
started
burned
going-
half of his beard off
And
last
he burned
weekend.
half his beard off. So
Not once, but twice.
Yep, twice.
By the way, Sonia says happy birthday.
So I would like to take this opportunity to call out Floatin' and Smokin' for being a sponsor of the show. So thanks, guys. Couldn't do this without you. Literally, it makes it a lot harder to do without you.
Well, and
Yeah,
it helps that we have 2 of the members of Floatin' and Smokin' in our crew.
Well, I wasn't looking at Dean when I was saying that. I'm looking to the guy, the man, the
The
sexy
man.
beast.
Whoa, hold up. Whoa. Don't boost his ego. We don't need the producer to try and take over the show. Remember the last time the producer took over the show? What happened? YouTube came storming in here and beat the shit out of all of us.
All right, for those of you online, if you don't know what he's talking about, you haven't been watching the show long enough, go look up some older shows. YouTube took over the show, and it was unpleasant.
yes.
Oh, man.
Well,
black
not
eye.
for us.
No, it
was
was
perfect.
We all had black eyes.
Yeah, we all got beat up.
Oh, did we? I don't remember that.
But the,
See?
but the,
Maybe
but
that's
the-
why.
It was
Yeah.
mentally damaging as
Yeah.
well.
No, but our producer definitely got the worst end of that at
Yes.
that time.
That was a good show.
That was a good show.
The only abusive show more than that was when somebody kidnapped me.
Hold up, time out. My wife just commented. She goes, that producer list is a small pool. Keep fishing.
That is a good one.
Nice.
I'm so happy. It makes you so happy.
All right, so any comments from the audience about doing the 3 whiskeys with a single pairing?
Nothing
Everybody's
yet.
silent.
Well,
Well,
nothing yet.
happy. Okay, so here's my question. Which one of the 3
Is your favorite?
is your favorite?
Honestly, I really like the flavor notes. I was very surprised as it being my first. I very much love the flavor profile that I got from the bourbon, but I think my favorite was the Mizunara. I like the sherry cask, but I wasn't getting a lot of the extra notes that the Mizunara and the bourbon gave me. But between the Mizunara and the bourbon, I preferred the Mizunara. I could probably drink the entirety
So
of that.
in
thing.
order, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Mizunara, bourbon, cherry.
I would say Mizunara, cherry, bourbon.
I would say bourbon because of that vanilla cream soda. That's crazy. Then a Mizunara is really, I like the how the 2 different cinnamons and flavors blended well with each other. And then last would be the sherry. But the sherry's really, they're all 3 really good.
Yeah, but listen, that
But if I had to rank them of which one, like if we had to say, okay, you got to pick one now and you're taking the bottle home with you, I'm taking the bourbon with me.
this is a perfect example of different flavor profiles we have on this panel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? We all experience the same things and we get the same notes, but yet we prefer some notes over other notes. So, and that's the same thing when you're out there in internet land, and yeah, you know what you like. All right, maybe you don't have a refined palate. Maybe you're watching a show to kind of get some clues as to how to identify these flavors, and we try to give you that. But just because you don't taste the same things that we do, or just because you taste something you're like, nah, not a fan, and we're like, oh, this is great. You got to take everything, with a grain of salt.
Another plug for Cigar Share is a great app, because if anybody that you know is using it, you can look at their previous smokes and see the flavor profile that they got from it, the strength, the performance, how it did. You can look at those notes and be like, you know what? That kind of lines up with what I like in a cigar.
Yeah.
That you can easily go into your store and pick it up.
Well, if your store has
The
it.
app creator
Right.
Yeah.
reminds me all the time. Some flavors you get, but they're not your favorite flavors. So you can go into the application and say, thumbs up, I like this flavor. Thumbs up, I like this flavor. So I'm doing that right now. So that way you can see, hey, I taste the flavors, but that's not really in my flavor wheelhouse. Right? So when you're reviewing, you can see, oh, he likes the same flavors that I do. I'm going to look at his reviews versus somebody else who doesn't like the same flavors that I like. So it's a great feature, and I keep forgetting to use it, but I am using it right now.
Okay, so I want to go back to the Mizunara and try that.
Actually, I was gonna say I wanted to retry the bourbon now that I've had three
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, I want to
Actually,
retry because we've been trying
let's
a
do
lot of
that.
these.
John, grab your sherry and do
One
your.
last.
The
Let's see
original
how the
one.
profile has
Okay.
changed.
All right, hold on. I have to finish
Rinse.
this.
Make sure you drink your
Don't-
water this
I
time.
was gonna drink the water this time.
So,
I do have to say this. The thing that I like about the last two shows is that John has been exempted from pouring overly heavy. For those of you that have not been watching the show for a very long time, I sang a song last year in March about how John loves to pour all of the drinks really heavy.
except my own.
Except your own. Exactly. And then one night, Nick and I let you know how wonderful that can be.
Yep. We got you damn near drunk.
Damn near.
No, he was drunk.
All right.
It wasn't like so drunk that I had a craving for soapworms or anything like that. But
Hey, let's be real. That show was a great show because I suffered with you, and Dean gave me the greatest gift that show. That freaking Dave's Hot Chicken.
Hot chicken. We're like,
Dave's
oh my
Hot-
God.
Ate the entire
it
thing.
was good. And then we got to follow that up with some very delicious fruit. Wasn't that fruit delicious?
Actually, you know
Didn't
what?
you enjoy the durian fruit?
Hey, once you get past the smell and the sliminess of it, it didn't taste
I
bad.
don't think it tasted bad. So, swirl of the girly.
All right.
Last time.
Last time.
Let's do this. Cheers to the audience.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I didn't want to make it go out my ears.
So, all right. So we're running near the top of the hour, and so we're gonna continue
Final
here.
flavor
We're
notes.
gonna do an after-hour show for the people that are here in the audience.
Yeah.
So if you ever wanna come in, let us know.
Ooh, Sonia just threw some shade. We have more refined palates. Us being awesome women, they need a woman there to cast the vote.
That sounds like Sonia wants to take a trip
Yeah,
out
it
here. and
sounds
be on
like
the show.
Sonia wants to fly out
Hey,
here and
come
drink
on,
with
Sonia,
us.
you're welcome on the show anytime. Rod, you got a little bit of working to do.
Rod has to stay home and tend to the farm animals.
Oh, I thought he had to tend to the USPS.
Okay.
That too.
So that gives you some ideas for a show. If we get Sonia out here.
Wine. Do wine because she used to be part owner of a winery.
No, I
Sonia-
think to honor the shim.
Oh, the Shem. Okay.
To honor the shim.
Honor our Shem.
Don't say it, but we know where she works. Someone's gonna have to wear some clothing from that store.
Oh.
I'm not going to be on the show. Go fuck
Oh,
yourselves.
yeah. Well, I don't know if she's still working for that store.
Oh, all right. Well, okay.
I don't know, Sonia. Are you still working for that show?
Anyways, Sonia
That
also,
store?
Sonia
Don't say
also
what it is.
said
The show
yuck
store?
to durian.
Yeah.
Yuck to durian.
Yuck
Yeah.
to
Well,
durian.
she got to have some fresh. Mine was frozen, which probably changes. I don't think it smelled as bad as advertised because it was frozen, but it did have a rank smell to it. So okay, last 2 minutes.
So really quick, I'll say this. Now that I've gone back to the bourbon, I'm now getting a much more profound vanilla note. I wouldn't necessarily say a vanilla cream soda, but I'm definitely giving a more profound vanilla note. I'm now getting, I'm still getting the clove.
Okay.
I'm still getting the clove.
Clove away.
But I actually think that I'm going to change my order. I'm going to go bourbon, Mizunara, sherry.
My order still stays the same, I think. I really like the Mizunara for the uniqueness of it. And listen, for $120 or whatever the 3-pack here was, I'd buy it
worth
again.
your money.
I'd buy it again.
Well,
These are
no,
all
no,
three really good whiskeys.
Well, not only that, you get very, very decorative pieces that come with it.
Yeah.
Well, if you can do something with it, great.
Well, the Mizunara, I think the flavors of this cigar
Sonia works
and
for-
that spirit.
Sonia works for Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. So there we go.
So no,
same
go
store.
fuck yourself.
Same store. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, so the Mizunara, I do like the fact that the Mizunara has that little bit of that same, a touch of a cinnamon and everything. Or maybe it's just accentuating more of the cigar. But I think it blends, it's just a good accompaniment. Now, the bourbon to me, it threw in a curveball that was nice.
Yeah.
And I still get like that cinnamon kind of a vanilla cream soda on it. And that's the real reason why I picked that one, is because it brought out a unique flavor that none of the other two spirits even came close to. Sherry wasn't bad. It was there. To me, it brought out a little bit more of a citrus note, especially after you swallow and you breathe about 2 or 3 times.
So Sonia says she works at Victoria's Secret. Cigar Share says producer position open. And then Lee, who's in our audience, says, "Oh my." My wife says, "Meow." And then Cigar
God.
Share followed that up with hubba hubba.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, closing notes, Nick. You're down to last
Highly
finger burn.
I'm at the finger burner. This
Yeah.
is. I highly recommend this cigar. This. I would agree. I would say either mid-afternoon, like you got this would be a good afternoon starter stick, or I do agree it would be great with like a dessert. But I highly recommend this cigar. I'm probably gonna go out and try to get my own because this is so good. And then with the whiskeys, you paid $120 for 3 whiskeys that have different. Dude, awesome, great, 100% recommend.
Yeah, Dean, closing notes.
What was the price point on the cigar?
$7 in Oregon.
Oh,
I would, to me
100%.
this is like a fall cigar, because I get that cinnamon and stuff, and it kind of takes me back. Like I always, whenever it goes to fall, like Thanksgiving, Christmas kind of stuff, I always go back to when I was a kid. My mom would always make homemade spiced tea.
Yeah.
And it had cinnamon and cloves and stuff and oranges.
This is a good
and,
golf stick
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, good
It-
golf
it-
and
it
it's a
centers
really
you.
good cigar all around.
Yeah, I like it.
Really good all cigar. I would love to see what this cigar would taste like with Wild Turkey. Because to me,
Which
Wild
one?
Turkey has a.
Which one?
I would used to do straight 101, but even the rare breed, I think, because even the rare breed has that cinnamon aspect to it, and I think sometimes whenever you're smoking something that actually has the same flavor profile of the spirit that you're drinking, because of the fact that it has that same flavor profile, sometimes it can cause those flavors to step back on the stage a little bit and let some other flavors come through.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
What about you?
So closing notes, I agree with 100% with what you guys said. The whiskeys, well worth the money, and it gives you little decorative things that your wife can play with, or you can put on the bar. I mean, those look cool on the bar.
Yeah, those would be great.
Yeah.
So for Smoking Salads team members, this is a new bar background. So tell us what you think about the new look. For me, listen, the cigar is great. I'm definitely going to go and buy a box. It was $1 more in Oregon because I have a $1 cap on it, but you go to Pennsylvania or anywhere else, it's going to be $1 cheaper. But I mean, today $7 for a stick this good,
It's a
it's
steal.
a steal.
Yeah.
It's more than fairly priced. It's a
Yeah.
steal.
It's a steal.
I would pay $10 for this, easy.
Minimum,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, it is a Petite Robusto, but it's really got some good flavors.
We made it last for an hour.
So it is a General Cigar product. So if you know your cigar shop has General Cigar products, Punch, and on those.
Really
just
quick side note.
fast.
You have no Wild
We're-
Turkey, do you?
We are, really quick side note, we will be doing a bit of a set remodel coming down the pipeline. So current setup, bar won't change, but the current setup, you might see something different down the pipeline. So if
Always changing.
Always changing.
So, before I forget, before we end the show, tune in. The month of March is going to be Family Loyalty Month. So, don't forget to watch our Family Loyalty cigar pre-short videos. We have on location, smoking salads on location.
with John Hill.
With me. We have smoking salads after hours
with me.
Nick, doing mixed drinks. And maybe we'll even have some smoking salads sauteed, where Dean actually makes some food and kind of pairs the cigar with the food.
Yeah, I need to start getting that done.
So
But when you're working 16-hour days, sometimes you really don't want to do that. You just want to go home, eat, and go
You
to
can
sleep.
do it on a weekend.
those are there. We're going to do a live show near the end of March. It won't be at the end of March because I would be heading off on holiday. So I don't want to do a show and then immediately take off.
So our next show will be sooner.
It'll be probably the third week.
Yeah.
Third Monday of March. So TBD. But we're gonna change things up. February was a shit show for all of us who just ran out of time. That's why we're behind. Family Loyalty was supposed to be February.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But that's okay.
Dude, this is full on cinnamon stick now.
Yeah.
It's just full
Yeah,
on.
it's full on cinnamon.
It's like in your face cinnamon. Just
I'm getting
boom.
like
Follow it
so
up.
I'm literally on finger
It's-
like if you guys
yeah.
can see that I'm on finger burner. I'm getting cinnamon and actually more of like a cayenne pepper.
Yep.
I was
Last-
going to say that on the retro how I'm getting that cayenne pepper.
Last but not least, thanks again to the Floating and Smoking guys for helping to sponsor the show, get the show going, producing it, participating on the panel. Thanks.
Yeah, check it out. You'll get to see if you go. The newest video I think that Ryan put up was yesterday. Dave got to bring in a 6-foot sturgeon.
But also understand that they're just 4 people having a great time
Yeah.
because 90% of their videos they don't catch a goddamn thing.
And
Oh, 90%? Really?
follow along with
Yep.
our tasting notes on cigarshare.com.
Exactly.
Easy to load,
Fi-
easy to use.
Final note from the audience: my wife says that
Crazy
she
cinnamon.
thinks that this cigar would go really well with a hot toddy.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
With a cinnamon stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Throw a cinnamon stick in it,
Oh,
baby.
Wait a minute, this
Absolutely.
is your cinnamon stick.
It is.
Hey!
It is. I mean, this
did you
really
know?
is probably the most cinnamon flavored cigar I've ever smoked.
Yeah. Even more so than the ones called
I
cinnamon
need.
stick.
Oh wait, I gotta pour me some more whiskey. Hold on.
Oh, we gotta
Give me the
wait
bourbon.
for Dean.
Give me the
want the
bourbon.
bourbon?
Yeah, I want bourbon.
Oh, he wants his vanilla
Bourbon
wants
kitty.
his
I want my
bourbon
vanilla
kitty.
cream soda, baby, with a touch of citrus. Okay, slow down there.
Dottie Coo.
All right, wait. Let me kill it up.
Waiting for Dean.
Always waiting for Dean.
Dizzy. All
Waiting
right.
for Dean on videos. Waiting for.
Cheers and stay tuned for more future
Smoking salads.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Wait, can I not burn my fingers on this? Jesus. This is...
I'm a cigar man. I'm a cigar man. Big up, baby. You know I'm smoking. Cigar like a woman, round but not too firm. Even though it's smoking slow, fire'll get you burned. I'm a cigar man. Billy, oh honey, you know you got me smoking.